Hey guys, Jack here. Welcome back to another video. So, in a few minutes, the Carabao Cup final will be on, and so I want to just do my preview of the matches that have happened today before that game, before I discuss it. So, here's the clip of me talking about the Carabao Cup. So, Manchester United have beaten Newcastle United in the Carabao Cup final. It's Manchester United's first title since, well, first major cup since 2017 when they won the Europa League under Jose Mourinho. And I think it was a good final. It wasn't the best, but it was very interesting. So United set up in kind of a 4-2-3-1 in defence, but would push into a 4-3-3 in attack, with Fernandes sitting around kind of the number 10 spot. Then with Newcastle United set up in the 4-3-3, when the second half kind of changed into a 4-2-3-1. So Newcastle probably had the better opportunities throughout the start of the first half. They seemed to focus a lot down the wings, particularly on St. Maximin's side, because he was a lot more trickier, and he made Diogo Dalot's night particularly difficult. And he had a good chance towards, I think, about the 20-odd minute, where it forced De Gea to make a good save at his near post. And it was kind of after that moment, around the 20-minute mark, when United started to pick up a bit of momentum. And it wasn't, and they had a few chances going forward, but Newcastle were resolute defensively until they got the free kick. And it was a great ball by Luke Shaw, and Casemiro with a great header into the side netting. Nothing the keeper could do. And then the second goal came really close right after. Weghorst picking up the ball, running with it, playing a slipped ball to Rashford, who takes on, strikes, and unfortunately Sven Botman's credited with the own goal. Going over the keeper again, didn't really have a chance. But I thought Karius had a good game. Just want to say that he didn't, for his first competitive game for Newcastle, he didn't make any blunders, and the crowd weren't making it easy for him every time he took a kick. In the second half, United changed their kind of setup, played a bit deeper, played a bit more defensively, and Dalot was substituted for Wan-Bissaka, who I thought had a brilliant second half. Like, granted, he only played 45 minutes, but he kept St. Maximin very quiet. And I was saying it to someone there that he's just ridiculous when it comes to his tackling. He just seems to, anytime he goes in for a tackle, he just wins the ball. And against someone like St. Maximin, like, he didn't make any fouls. And like, Newcastle were pushing for that goal in the second half, and they couldn't. I think the introduction of Alexander Isak was particularly was pivotal. He was dropping deep, trying to make play, but unfortunately him and St. Maximin couldn't get a final ball through. And like, United had another chance towards the end of it, where I think was, I can't even recall. I think it was Fernandes at the very end could have played across to either Sancho or McTominay, I think. But Karius made a good save, and I think United were the better team and throughout the throughout the game. Defensively very sound, sat deep. Like, Newcastle didn't really have any great chances, and as a result, United got the win. And unfortunately for Newcastle, they didn't manage to pick up the victory. But what an atmosphere! The fans were elated, to be there, and it's safe to say that it won't be too long before we see them in another final. That's what I'm going to say. So now we're looking at the Premier League. So first was Fulham Wolves, and it looked like a good game, very entertaining. Wolves probably unfortunate not to get more from the game, but Fulham defended reasonably well, and they capitalised on their chances. And yeah, Manor Solomon doing very well, and he's slowly coming into the team a bit more, and he's contributing. And without Alexander Mitrovic, it's really good to see. Fulham have done very well, and Wolves as well, basically getting themselves out of the relegation zone. Like, they seem secure. Both teams should be happy with that. Next is Villa versus Everton. Everton had their chances, especially from set pieces, but Emiliano Martinez looked very good. He seemed a bit more composed in turn, and it was a penalty for Villa to get on the score sheet, and yeah, they deserved a victory. I mean, Pickford did have to make a couple of great saves, but Villa with Ollie Watkins did really well. Next is Arsenal Leicester. I had a mate who watched this game, and I remember looking at the stats, and I just messaged him like, it's like, it doesn't look like a very most entertaining affair, and he just went Leicester, just bunkered the entire time. And Arsenal, I think Arsenal can take credit from that. They were able to break them down, and like Leicester, who seemed to be very, like, they conceded 2 or 3 goals really, but obviously the foul for the disallowed goal by Trossard, which was a great finish, but I thought that was a really good call from VAR. Watch Ben White very cheekily holding Danny Ward's arm so that he couldn't get enough, he couldn't jump properly to get a secure punch on the ball. It was very sneaky, and the camera angle who caught it was very well placed. But Arsenal deserved to win it in the end, and they had their chances. I mean, Martinelli is just deadly with the pace that he possesses, and I think Arsenal will need to kind of focus on using those different tools that they have in their team, like of Trossard, Martinelli, Saka. They all have a few different things, and with Gabriel Jesus seemingly coming back in the next couple of weeks, that's another tool to the shed. Next is West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and David Moyes must have been elated to see this kind of response. I mean, West Ham were just deadly in front of goal. Keylor Navas didn't really have a chance really at saving some of those shots. Declan Rice probably the pick of the bunch. And I didn't realize he's rocking the those lower socks a bit like Grealish, and yeah, it might suit him. I just don't like it with him. I just find it, because he's a centre defensive midfielder, I just see him as a bit more industrious. That shows a bit more flair, but he is a very technical player, so all power to him. Steve Cooper's probably unhappy with how the game turned out. I thought it would be a draw, but I mean, Jarrett Bowen looked very good. I mean, they couldn't handle them, and this might save David Moyes a few more weeks in the job if he continues to bring back performances like this. Who knows what will happen? Next is Leeds, Southampton, and under Javi Gracia, who just had his work permits granted, I think Friday afternoon. I mean, that's like you saw, it was like a night and day difference. They still pressed, but they seemed a lot more organized. They seemed a lot more structured defensively. I mean, Southampton didn't show that much. I mean, Tyler Adams, Wes McKennie were brilliant, I thought, and Southampton did reasonably well defending, but Leeds could have gotten another 1 or 2 if the finishing and the decision making was better. I mean, Somerville had a chance to square to, I think, Harrison, but decided to go at it on his own. And that's a good sign for Leeds, who'd be wanting to secure survival. And Javi Gracia, who did well with Watford, this could be his redemption in the Premier League. He has a bit of unfinished business, as the football cliche will go. Next is Man City, Bournemouth. I said 3-0. 3 goals to nil if you do the math there, but Man City just showed the deadliness that they can have. Credit to Bournemouth, they tried to attack, they tried to disrupt City, and Ederson isn't having the greatest of seasons. He's struggling to make saves, and it's similar to the Claudio Bravo season where he was making like a save every 2 shots on target. The other shot was going in, and he's having a rough season. I don't know if it's City being exposed a bit more, or they're creating, like, lack of a better term, creating goal scoring chances against them, but they need to be doing a bit better in this regard in order to defend. And yeah, credit to City, and they were good goals. They were well worked in terms of pressing and causing mistakes. I mean, something that you don't really see from Guardiola's side, but you forget that's kind of the fundamental of tiki-taka football that he had when he managed Barcelona back in 2009. It was press high, win the ball back, and capitalise. Next game was Palace Liverpool. Palace had their chances. Liverpool had a few chances as well. I mean, Salah had a strike crash off the bar. It was remarkable, but Palace probably, I say a draw is probably fair. I think it should have been a score draw, but yeah, Palace defended very well. Decore looked great in the midfield, and Guaita made a few crucial saves. Mark Gahey probably should have gotten a header, scored a header, and yeah, it was a good performance by Crystal Palace. And Liverpool are still trying to brush off the troubles from the Real Madrid game. And the last Premier League tie we're going to be talking about is Tottenham versus Chelsea. Chelsea looked void of confidence, and I'm worried about Graham Potter's position. I know I said in the previous video that if he didn't get something out of this game, that he'd be in trouble. That he should be fine. It's hard to imagine, because I don't think Todd Bowley would fire him, because in US sports you'd give him to the end of the season. But will he? But at the end of the season, will Potter still be there? I don't know. Credit to Tottenham, they pressed hard. They had a lot of chances. Ziyech was fortunate that the VAR caught caught that he didn't actually strike Emerson Royale in the face. But Emerson Royale looking like prime Cafu. Who would have thought that Pedro Porro would have been the best thing to happen to Emerson Royale? It's been immense, and he's had quite a redemption since January. In terms of the goals, Kane's the second one from Kane, that's great. It was good finish, lurking at the back post, probably should have been marked. And Oliver Skip, I think Kepa tried to anticipate, because he's a right-footed player, that it would kind of come across him as opposed to stay kind of go the other way. But I thought it was poor enough goalkeeping. His starting position was quite low, and he just allowed the ball to pass him like that. Graham Potter needs to find the right formula in order for him to thrive in this team. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care.